I don't want guys to walk away from this interview thinking that it's essentially a spiritual program. What it is,
Right.
it helps you unlock the best version of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you spoke about that as well, again, with me, about getting a lot of clarity on who is Isaiah's best version.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to that in a minute. But once your best version, it will tap into pre-existing powers, your spiritual power, your psychological power, your emotional powers. It does unlock your financial skills as well, like you mentioned before,
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur, as a father, as a husband. Because when you identify the exact changes you got to make in your personality, instead of just guessing, instead of doing extra, instead of just working hard, you're working smart, and you're picking up on the exact changes you got to make. And I think, guys, it's important for men to understand that. And when you went through this, like getting to know your higher identity, getting to know your best version, like when you get to know, okay, this is what my best version is supposed to be. What is that to know that?
Feels good. There's a lot of thought and work that goes into it.
Please don't scare anybody.
Yeah, no,
Scare
not at
anybody.
all.
Yes, there
It
is quite a bit of work that goes into it. But what happens once you're at the end of the work, you get clarity on the blueprint of this is who I am. What's the
yeah,
feeling you get?
yeah, it just feels like $1,000,000 really. You walk in a room, you're like, I know who I am, right? The best analogy I can use it, and I don't know, every guy's different. Obviously, I'm an entrepreneur. I've done a lot of leadership courses, etc. But if you've ever been in a leadership class and they take you through, we want to see what your personality is like. Are you introvert, extrovert, the different spectrums, the different spheres? Not that that's going to help me know who I am and my higher identity and how it correlates to my marriage, right?
Right.
But once you like just the interesting topic of that, oh wow, that you learn a lot about yourself doing some of those different.
The Enneagram, this is my style,
Yeah.
my 1 and the 4 and the corners,
Yep.
and right.
Yep. Yep. So just the analytical piece. I'm a super analytical guy, and a lot of us men think super logically. So it just makes sense. And putting the pieces together and how the practicality of that, my higher identity matches my marriage or the opportunity in my marriage and how I can make my marriage amazing. Just the pieces just come together and they mesh just like that.
Right.
On top of the spiritual aspect of it, which just puts the icing on the top where it's can't bake a cake without all the ingredients. And if you try to do one thing here, it's not going to work out.
And she put
right?
the icing before you. So that's why it's important. There is a sequence. One of the big mistakes guys make when they're turning around their marriage or trying to, or many of the programs out there, including paid programs, is the sequence is completely incorrect. Besides the fact that some pieces are actually missing, but the sequence is incorrect. Like they put
Right.
certain principles, for example, apologizing to your wife before you even established the ability to read her mind or the ability to see what she's seeing, right? We've delayed you from reaching out to her and apologizing to her because you were still on the stage of finalizing, and you still are in a certain way finalizing. One second. What is the picture she has of me in her head? Right? How do I turn it around? What am I supposed to do to turn it around? These are things you got to do before apologizing.
Yeah.
Apologizing is not only premature, it's actually deadly sometimes because
Yeah.
it confirms to the wife that you have no idea what you're doing. Let's talk a little bit about the wife. What are the changes you've seen? And it's important to stage this because as people turn around as men turn around their marriages, it's not like most of the time it's not a magic moment. You will see in some of the interviews I have with men, there's like a specific moment. It's usually not like that. Usually it's not black and white. There are varying shades as a woman starts opening up her heart, or at least doubting herself, and there's progress in the marriage. What changes have you seen from the interactions or from things she has done or said that have given you hope and encouragement that you are on track right now?
Yeah. Obviously, the results don't happen overnight, right? I think all of us could agree to that. This is some cancer has been going on for a while now. You just don't find a cure overnight, right? There's a process sequence. A lot of small wins that I picked up on. You go back to talking subconscious communication and those vibes you get, like at the get-go in the first couple of months, 60 days, like you could just feel it, the tension that was there when I was around her or she was around me. It's just, there was a lot of tension and you could just feel it. And that no one likes that. No one likes to be in that type of environment, whether it's her or me or children or other family members, right? As I've gone through the program, obviously not through the whole program, right in the middle, I haven't even There's a lot of things I still have left to do, but I've picked up like that heavy weight. He's in the room when I'm in the room. It doesn't seem like it's there anymore.
Right.
Why? I haven't said anything to her, hey, I'm sorry for all of this and this yet. I'm not in that part of the program yet. But just being able to feel that, and that there's not the same tension that there was at the get-go, tells me something's working.
You just said a couple of things that guys watching this would have no idea. By the way, for the guys who are watching this, can you comment? Do you process what Isaiah is saying? Are you relating to any of it? Do you have questions about it? This is important. Well, you just mentioned, you said it very quickly. You said the word subconscious communication, right? This is an art. This is a skill that Isaiah has developed. And the reason why you're not feeling the tension is because she's not feeling the tension. And the reason, a big part of that is because you've already started reversing some of your behaviors and the way you interact and communicate, not just with her, but with other people around you, that has started changing that picture in her head. So automatically that tension starts getting reduced.
Yeah.
And this is powerful and so important. And it's vital to have this first, because like we both said in the past couple of minutes, if you don't get this thing first, all your apologies and communication will fall on deaf ears. Because it's still, that tension is still there. There is so much of that negative energy. And again, we call it the subconscious energy. A fascinating point and a relevant point, and I'm glad you mentioned that. What would be your final message to guys watching this interview, given your journey, given your challenge, given what you've gone through? What would be your message to them?
Don't lose hope. Be committed. And funny, for 2024, my pastor's message for the church is commitment, and how that rolls into marriage and my spiritual life this year, and how it adapts to what I'm going through for AMFT at the perfect timing of finding out my higher identity and the blueprint I'm in right now in the program. It's just perfect. But anyways, don't lose hope. It's easy to get bogged down. It's easy for mud to splash up on the windshield and turn the wipers on full blast at first. And it's just not going to all go away at first. Like, it's tough. It really is. And I don't ever wish this upon anybody, but there's a purpose for each and every one of us, and having hope and seeing any type of light at the end of the tunnel is a win.
Thank you. And talking about light at the end of the tunnel, I just remembered one thing that you told me recently, that your wife recently put back the picture of you and her on top of the fireplace or something. Can you talk a little bit about that? And
yeah, so the fireplace.
Because we're talking about light at the end of the tunnel. Let's hear some of the light at the end of your tunnel.
Yeah, actually, I don't no idea where she's at. In the beginning, she was at a 10, and she's not changing her mind. And I think it'd be ignorant to say that she's still at a 10, because I truly don't believe she is. And there's signs that I know she's not, right? And there's another win I'll share with you too. If I make it real quick here.
I'm old time. When it comes to wins, I love you.
Yeah.
To me, that's the fun part.
So we have a fireplace mantle that we decorate during the seasons of the year. And when it's not a holiday season per se, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, whatever, there's just a couple little things on the mantle. And something that's always been up there is a photograph, a picture frame of me on our wedding day and her on the wedding day, side by side. And it says, Mr. Right, Mrs. Always Right. Right. So it's kind of comical in that regard.
Right.
And humor is great in marriage, especially when you're going through something like this. That hasn't been up there for 5 months. It was taken down because decorations took its place. New Year, Christmas decorations went back into storage. I got home from church on Sunday and I walked in there.
It was taken down before your decorations went up, right? It was taken down 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Several months ago, when summer was over, because it was fall time, right? And that's when you start putting the leaf decor and the pumpkins. And then,
okay, gotcha. So that's what happened. So
yeah,
go on.
It's back up. Got home from Sunday and I noticed it's back up.
What was your first reaction?
I don't know if she saw my reaction, because I don't think she was in there. I was just like, wow. Like, it made me feel good, right? I have no idea what the intent of her putting it back up there. I haven't asked. I don't think it's appropriate time yet.
That didn't happen by mistake. She consciously went and put back up the picture of you and her. That was down for a long time.
Yeah. Our kids aren't old enough to know the difference of having that picture up, because they don't, 4 and 2 years old, 5 and 3 years old. They don't, I'm sure they get a little bit, but they're not at the maturity to know oh, mommy and daddy been going through some tough stuff over the past 6 months, or 3 months, or whatever it's been.
Well, they may
But
pick up on the tension, but they
yeah,
may not correlate that with the picture being put back up on the fireplace means that there's might be something going on in her heart,
hmm
which is unspoken, and but at the same time encouraging.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
For the guys watching this, if you want to explore if the process that Isaiah has been through is for you, let me know in the comments below. Just comment, pick me. It doesn't mean we're going to pick you, but it does mean we may give you a chance. But before you comment that, please understand there are 3 pieces that have to be in place before you write pick me. We can't help every situation. We can't help every marriage. We can't help every guy. There has to be 3 conditions present. And Isaiah, you'll recognize these. Number 1, you have to have had a real connection with your wife at some point. It's not just about saving any marriage. You and your wife had to have had a real solid loving relationship at some point in order to reconnect back to that. Number 2, you have to have a real desire to be the best version of yourself. If you've watched anything from what Isaiah has said, you'll understand this is not a game. There's a plan, there's a process. It's not a manipulative one. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes commitment. I can give you a strategy. I can't give you commitment. I cannot give you commitment, right? You got to come with the commitment. And number 3, you have to be committed to unlocking the marriage cancer in your life. Going deep, looking for the fundamentals with the right guidance. You have to come to the table with these 3 attitudes. Healthy marriage at some point. You have a good attitude about becoming the best version, and you're determined to tactically and strategically unlock the marriage cancer in your life. And if that is you, and you want to explore if AMFT is a good fit for you, then comment pick me and somebody will reach out to you. And Isaiah, final thoughts? What are your final thoughts moving forward? What are you looking forward to as you continue through AMFT and the journey you're on?
I think there's in life, you have to have a super positive outlook to it with everything that's thrown at our way, especially in today's day and age. And it's tough, right? Get it. Stay positive. That's a biggest piece of this journey. And it's so hard to get stuck in the mud, but stay positive and be who you are and who you're meant to be. And I think that can be taken on a lot of different levels. Change is good if it's done appropriately in the right way for the right purpose.
That's an important piece. It has to match who you are and it has to be appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Like just changing, just wanting to become a better person. It has some value to it when you're not married. But once you're married, you have to become a better person in a very specific, strategic, almost surgical way, so that those changes actually matter to your wife, not just to yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think the mistake a lot of men make is they make changes to themselves in a way that does not impact a marriage. So they feel better about themselves, but the wife doesn't feel better about them. And yes, it is about being appropriate for you, and that's exactly what we do in AMFT. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you. You bring a great attitude, you really bring a great work ethic to the process, and that's one of the things that we look for in the interview process in the beginning. Is this guy going to do the work? Is this guy going to show up? Is he going to invest the time? And I got to say, you have. You had some difficult challenges at some point, like you mentioned, but you definitely have put in the time, and you're reaping the fruit, and you're in the middle of it, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share with other men.
Yeah.
Because this is where it gets real, like pulling the curtain away and saying, hey, guys, this is what's going on right now. I'm in the middle of this emotional surgery, this marital surgery, and this is what it looks like, and I appreciate you taking the time.